Good afternoon and welcome to today's SBC webinar, during which you'll learn all about the Continent 8 Gaming Exchange, the iGaming industry's only private and secure internet. I'm Martin Elliott, Senior Media Manager for SBC, and as I know, frankly, next to nothing about subjects such as data flow, private connections and cybersecurity, I am delighted to be joined by Justin Cosner, Chief Product Officer of Continent 8, and Anthony Abu-Jaude, Chief Information Officer at Continent 8. How are you both?
Very good, thank you. Very good.
Great. Glad to be here.
Good. Well, I'm glad the microphones are working. There's nothing worse than a tech presentation where the tech goes wrong, so that's a good start. So perhaps before we get into this, Justin, you could kick things off by talking us through the benefits of the gaming exchange and also sort of why an operator or supplier might choose the gaming exchange over any of the alternatives out there.
Sure. So I'll share my screen and just give you a kind of how we got here, I suppose. Can you see my screen? All good?
You can.
Yeah. So Continent is 25 years old. So over that 25 years, we've grown quite a large network connecting online gaming and sportsbook suppliers, B2Bs, B2Cs, their gaming infrastructure hosted generally in regulated jurisdictions, and their key markets for kind of reachability and getting that kind of best user experience. So we with that kind of network and that kind of broad space, the two services we provided for probably the longest time in that environment is IP internet or transit and DDoS mitigation or protection, and we had to we have to keep obviously monitoring and maintaining the best internet connectivity we can for our customers and where they're servicing their markets, but also learn net flow data effectively from our customers' kind of source and destination traffic to enable us to protect and improve that network. And one of the things we would see is, whilst delivering that over the years, has been a significant customer-to-customer connectivity. So in other words, existing kind of customers of ours that are connecting to each other. To give a kind of example, of who our customers kind of are. These are platform providers, content providers, operators, aggregators, and so on, and they're running significant amounts of data transfer between them, whether that's keeping wallets available. And we basically saw that as an opportunity for us to create a private network to move that existing connectivity between these guys and take it off the internet. So in terms of benefits, bear with me. The main benefits for going to be the performance, obviously. So by having that existing wide MPLS network, we can deliver the kind of fastest connectivity, the lowest hop, the lowest latency. We've got a very reachable network as well that's kind of been unique to this environment in terms of trying to, as I said, connect that regulated jurisdiction to their markets that are being provided. There's also security. So from a security perspective, being private, it's not on the internet, it's not a point of attack. And then from a privacy perspective, it's easy for us to kind of monitor and enable, but with no customer special configuration. We deliver them both effectively networks to consume, and they can ensure they take the shortest possible route. Privately, maybe the default, but they still have that kind of public internet access available without having to do any kind of local custom or configuration changes. And you'll see some of the kind of portal benefits that we have in the demo later. So I'll stop that. Any questions?
Yeah, you mentioned security briefly there, and we're hearing a lot these days about sort of cybersecurity attacks on both online and land-based operators. And in fact, couldn't be more current because there's a headline story today with, I believe, MGM in Las Vegas having some problems with their slots, amongst other things there. So could you perhaps just talk a little about how the gaming exchange provides some sort of protection to the operators and suppliers that use it?
Sure. I mean, we don't know obviously the details of the MGM attack yet, and this does appear to be obviously a cyber attack within the network. From what news has been released so far, something that sometimes can be used to hide infiltration attacks or exfiltration attacks on customers to pull in data or expose systems can be a DDoS attack. There's dual and triple level ways of attacking customers. From a gaming exchange perspective, the advantage we see in this private connectivity is that, especially for those businesses that rely upon interconnectedness between them to provide a solution, they're no longer on the internet with that traffic. So there's no public surface area to attack. Then you can't attack the public IP addresses because they're running in that private network. It won't necessarily guarantee all areas. You still need DDoS mitigation for your public address space. But a lot of our B2B and B2C providers interconnect through APIs, bespoke protocols and ports. And so the kind of threat isn't just the kind of mobile website.com or the website URL that customers will go to start. This is the exchange really good at kind of protecting that back end for any really aggressive, intelligent attackers that are looking to kind of bring down connections between customers, that can prevent them from kind of providing those operators with some of their casino games or with their player wallets or their odds, etc. So if we can get, reduce as much of that public surface area as possible, it reduces the chance, should we say, of attack, and can potentially reduce the effects of an attack for a business. And they might be able to keep some parts of it up and running whilst they try to deal with whatever's going on at the edge.
Okay, that's interesting. So obviously the security side of things, very, very important for operators for a number of reasons, not least trust of the players, but also, just staying within the terms of their license for a lot of them on with the regulators and so on are really interested in what the sort of cybersecurity provisions and so on are at the moment. So really interesting to hear that. Now, Anthony, I believe we're going to come to you now, and you are going to really dig a little deeper into how the gaming exchange works, and some more of those benefits there for the operators and suppliers who might use it. So I will hand the controls over to you for the next few minutes.
Definitely. Thank you, Martin. Hi, everybody. Yeah, just to touch on the regulator piece as well, what we're going to focus on in the demo in just a few minutes as well. It will show you where the traffic is going and coming from different regions in the world. So that will help with that aspect as well. And being that what Justin said, it's a private internet. It's not any different than the public internet from a data and privacy perspective. We know where the data is coming from and to, and not necessarily what we wouldn't know what the packets would hold. So that to answer a bit a question asked by Victor in the chat there, if our data is secure and private, definitely we would say a bit more, because again, as Justin mentioned, it's not going to be exposed in any way or form to the public internet, and internally we will not see anything. The demo will focus a bit on some of the premium features that come with the gaming exchange, especially the dissecting of that data and the benefit we can get from that. So Martin, take it away. Let's start the demo.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anthony Aboujaudi. I'm the CIO of Continent 8 Technologies, and I'm very excited to show you what we have in store for you today. We're going to be showing you the premium analytics dashboards and reporting that are available for you when you sign up to the Gaming Exchange platform. The dashboards themselves are part of our support customer portal that you see before you today. And if you are not familiar with it, this is how it looks like. And once you sign up to the gaming exchange, you're going to have a new section called Premium Analytics. I am now signed in as Continent 8 itself. As you will probably guess, we monitor our own network and we consume our own services. So this is how our inter-customer traffic dashboard looks like. What this means is what kind of traffic we are exchanging with other customers or with ourselves that exist on our Continent 8 network. So before we dive in, let's just spend 1 minute and tell you how this dashboard and this data came about. A few years ago, we had the questions is, what are our customers doing on our network? Are they talking with each other? Are they talking with themselves? And these different sites that we have them hosted in. Since the data comes and goes from one of our data centers, we were able to identify the traffic coming and going, and we created this dashboard called Inter-Customer Traffic that I will walk you through with. So at the top, you will see a different kind of filters that you can play around with for different kind of data. But most importantly, in this version of this dashboard, we are showing you last month's full data, current month up to yesterday, and yesterday's data in a daily snapshot for accuracy and speed of information. So don't be overwhelmed by the spaghetti of lines here. This is our Continent 8 network customer dashboards, which I will show you a demo customer in a bit, look much better than this and more digestible. We just want to show you what the scale of data we can show. So the bigger you are on our network, the more graphs you can see, and obviously use the filters to drop down, to filter down and have more reasonable information, which I'll show you in a bit. So the map view just shows you a map of where the data is coming and going to. On the bottom, you can see two different visualizations. These visualizations are exactly of the same kind of data. One of them is the SAN key, and the other one is what we call the Ant March. So the data is exactly the same, visualized differently. What we're showing is the data coming and going from our different sites. And as you can imagine, we are everywhere that we exist. So this is quite visualization over. So we're focusing here only on site-to-site traffic. If we scroll down a bit more, now this gets interesting because we are showing that Continent 8 technology is now talking with all these other customers, which is not surprising, and it's talking with itself as well, as you can see here highlighted in a different color. So the customer names are all anonymized to protect from privacy, but once you're in the gaming exchange, you will have the chance to be able to choose your display name or your brand name or whatever name you want other exchange members to see you as, and you will be able to identify the difference between internet traffic and gaming exchange traffic. And I don't want to mention that if you're part of the gaming exchange, we're guaranteeing the best latency, better SLAs, and most importantly, you are not exposed to the outside internet for better security and reliability. So as I said, the first panel will show you site-to-site traffic exchange. This will show you customer-to-customer exchange. Here we can see obviously Continent 8 talks with itself a lot, and it's talking with this customer D0C, whoever that person is, a lot. We were able to just break it down slightly more further because it's very interesting to know which customer and which site is talking with which customer and which site as well. And as you can see, it becomes even messier here when we're looking at Continent 8. But that's again, that's how our network is. If we now go to an actual demo customer, so now if here you see there's a demo customer, so it's not the same customer. This is a slightly more digestible customer that maybe reflects a customer on the smaller side of things, but it's easier to visualize. So here, as you can see, the map looks a bit more readable. And then if we look at the filters, this customer exists in Latin America, North America. These are the sites they have presence in, but they are talking with all other regions all over the world, which makes sense, right? So you can go and clean this data and filter this data as much as you want. If we look a bit down more, so this in Kanawaki, we can see that they're talking with our global network a lot. They're talking with Taiwan, they're talking with Lisbon, they're all over the place. When there's a blue highlighted site, that means they're talking with themselves in that site, and it will show you exactly where the most traffic is. As I said, the left side SAN key visualization is the same kind of data as the right side, but for people that really like tables, we can have the option here to show the data table, and then you will see now 3 options or 3 different visualization for the same data, just for people to consume the information in more than one format. And you can hide the connection graph, and you can hide the SAN key table if you want. So if we keep going, as I mentioned, this is site-to-site traffic. If we scroll down, now you can see Continent 8 customer, demo customer is talking with C8 and is talking with another customer on our network, and it clearly shows where the customer is talking to each other. If we scroll down a bit more, this is what I mentioned earlier. We can even split it to which customer and which site is talking with which customer with which site. So if I can move around this 2 customers, so our demo customer is talking with a real customer from West Virginia to Detroit. If you hover over any of these numbers, let me scroll down a bit more, it shows you the send and the receive from these 2 different locations. And at the end, it's just a tabular format with very granular details of all the information you saw above, if you ever need to have access to this. One more thing I can show you in the filters. Like I said, even though we have the source and the destination regions, let me just say I only want to know the traffic that is coming or going to the destination Asia Pacific. I pick this, for example, all the panels below just now show the traffic coming and going from Taiwan, because that's the filter I chose. Now that we spent a few minutes on inter-customer traffic, we're very excited that now we're able to identify these traffic and these patterns. We asked another questions. What is happening with all the other traffic that is not necessarily starting at Continent 8 or leaving Continent 8 to go somewhere else? So this was another exciting moment where we're able to identify all that traffic that is going to the outside world. And this is another dashboard I want to show you, which what we call external traffic. So now external traffic, again, for this demo customer, looks similar but different. So we start by showing you, again, the same kind of filters on top, region, sites, but now we care about which other providers and ASNs you are interacting with. So this customer is clearly a demo customer. We have random traffic going out there, but it shows you that it's talking with DigitalOcean, Alibaba, Google, Microsoft, Amazon, so on and so forth, right? And it shows you the top 10 according to the filters you chose before. And then if we scroll down, it shows you that most of the traffic to all these different providers are going from and to Indiana. Right, so this now it gets interesting because we're able to know, okay, we have a different connection to a certain provider or service that maybe we expect it to be more or less, or maybe don't expect it at all. Right away, we're able to identify that if you know your network enough. And now this is showing you per site. So let's say OVH, all this demo traffic, so that's why it's little. We round it up or down in this case, but it shows you from Indiana to OVH, for example. But here it will show you from all of your sites to OVH, and this is what this visualization shows. Another step we were able to take further, which also is very interesting. So even though we know that it goes to Google or Amazon or whatever, in this case, we actually were able, where we can, to identify the URLs where possible. So in this case, again, Indiana seems to be our busiest site, and this customer is going to Alibaba.com, DigitalOcean, Google.com, so on and so forth from Indiana. So if I hover over like before, it's exactly the same kind of traffic going back and forth from this connection. And if we go down, this becomes a bit just the global what's going on and globally from all our sites to these different URLs. And at the end, this is what the data looks like. if I scroll up a bit, I just want to show you one more thing in the dashboard is these filters, because there's a lot, and this is really a lot of data going on when it's external internet. We are filtering by only the top 50, but you can change that as you are filtering down. So I'll give you an example. If I go to Google, I want to know what kind of traffic is going to and from Google specifically that have Google in their URL name. So what this shows me is there's API Google, DNS Google, google.com, mebo.google.com, and www.google.com. So as you can see, it's a multi-select. We can filter with one or many as we want. There's ads, there's update. So this keeps going as we are filtering down. And every other filter now will be filtered that matches what the one of or many of your filters are. So if we scroll down a bit more, this is a real-time search that were happening at the same time. So just give it a second to display. We're starting to get the data here. So now we're only showing the traffic that is coming and going to Google, right? So Indiana is our top site. That matches the top 50 criteria on the top, and then we are showing it here. If we scroll down, we can see obviously it's the same customer we are going at, google.com, Indiana, so on and so forth. What's good about it is we can also, let's say I saw Amazon, I think, or Alibaba, if I'm not mistaken, before, so I can go and add this here. So I should be able to have Alibaba as one of the URLs, cloud.alibaba.com, alibaba.com, and now it matches everything that we can see here. Give it a second to show. So now we have Cloud Alibaba, DNS Google, so on and so forth. So let's see what kind of, so it's still Indiana, our top site, talking with both of these providers. And as you can see here, we are different providers for Alibaba now, so different ASN numbers, and then here obviously we're talking to alibaba.com, which is our top site versus the Google site that we saw before. And before I conclude, I want to say that these dashboards are part of our continuous improvement and commitment for better customer experience and transparency. So this is the first iterations of our dashboards. We're going to keep continuing to improve them as we get feedback from everybody that use them. And the next dashboards related to this that we'll share is more time charts, time series dashboards, as we are summarizing these dashboards on a daily, hourly, and monthly snapshots, where we can start seeing trends and get even more value from this data. I hope you enjoyed this demo, and thank you very much for joining.
Hi, thank you very much, Anthony. It's a very detailed and interesting overview of that there. I've had one or two questions coming in during your demonstration there, Anthony. One of them is fairly straightforward. Can any iGaming business join the gaming exchange?
I can take that if you'd like. I mean, yeah, I mean, ideally in conjunction or partnership with like an existing known customer, so that, you know, it'd be for the easiest and best advantage, customers that are in good contact, in good relationships, and want to improve that connectivity between them can approach us simultaneously to join. But even customers who aren't even sure where some of their traffic is going or how they're operating with other providers, or which ones it would be best for them to contact, can join, use that portal that Anthony just demonstrated, and then say, okay, maybe I should encourage my my supplier or even my customer to join the gaming exchange too, and then make the benefit of that kind of private connectivity. So yes, pretty much any iGaming business that's already one of our customers and on our network. In the future, we'd look to potentially being able to extend that out to bring on board our customers or potential customers that are out there. You know, there's those that, you know, there are players in this space that do interconnect, but don't have regulated infrastructure requirements. By that I mean they can be running in locations that aren't jurisdictions or regulated jurisdictions. They might have infrastructure just in AWS, just in Google, and so on and so forth. An example might be a sports data feed provider that isn't regulated as an entity, so doesn't have its infrastructure in jurisdiction. We can see the advantages perhaps of extending to them, maybe payments providers as well, to just kind of increase the mass and the momentum behind the private network, and also provide everyone with a kind of best possible latency and privacy network between them. So we can expand outside of our own network potentially in the future. As Anthony said, we're going to iterate on what we've done so far.
Okay, that's you've kind of covered the follow-up question I had for that, really, which is the industry is seeing huge amounts of technical development at the moment, and people are talking about, and sorry to throw in all the buzzwords, AI, metaverse, all these things. Streaming, of course, very, very big part of that. Could all these sit within the exchange as suppliers are rolling out those kind of things for operators?
Yeah, there's no technical limit to what can be done across the exchange. As Anthony said, when addressing the kind of data security and privacy, what we're doing is enabling effectively a closed off internet space for connectivity. If customers are already running those kinds of tools and capabilities, they'll just be able to utilize them on that network, whether that's streaming or anything else. As for AI, that's probably more in Anthony's wheelhouse, but certainly if there's a benefit we can use from whether it's an LLM or anything else to improve the information data that we're displaying, we'll certainly be bringing it on at the first opportunity.
Yes, absolutely. To add on that, the AI question that you just asked is, can AI providers and operators be on the exchange? Absolutely. Are we going to do something with AI ourselves? Also, absolutely. As we gather more data to have a proper, database to apply some, machine learning and more algorithms on it. We just don't want to do it for the sake of doing it. We want to give value to the customers once we give that out, and it's definitely something on our roadmap.
Great. It's interesting. And then we have a question from Adam here. He says, do you envisage any service providers to actually provide services via the exchange? Is there a marketplace on the roadmap?
Potentially, I think as we look for the kind of next couple of iterations, as I said, first is going to be expanding it out so that people can effectively connect to our network, whether that's through ideally, obviously, private means. So that would be network interfaces, NNIs, effectively with whoever it is that we're in. If we're in the same location, we can extend and meet our networks there privately and do some private peering, or whether that actually means we need to extend our network. You saw kind of the size. It seems to grow every month, and we've extended it directly to customers in the past or partners in the past. So potentially, yes, as a marketplace similar to some of the ones that we've seen that offer the kind of connectivity to public cloud providers like AWS and so on. We already provide private connectivity to the cloud providers, but there is then further down the line the potential to start bringing in mix and match and allow that kind of exchange marketplace to prosper. But I wouldn't say the next couple of months. The main thing for us at the moment is really trying to improve the use of the network that we have with our customers.
Sure. I mean, that's interesting. You often get the feeling with tech companies that they're interested in doing the latest, fanciest stuff, and in what they call innovation or product development is done to almost how should I put this? Entertain themselves rather than benefit the customers immediately. So it's interesting that you can be reviewing everything before you're.
We don't want to undermine some of the benefits of it, right? If the private internet becomes too publicly accessible, then you have a risk, and whether it provides reassurance or not. But the same DDoS mitigation platform we use to protect the outside layer, we also use inside layer. So there's no chance of a customer accidentally attacking one of their partners or providers. We would be able to mitigate that. That's something. That's one of the reasons we're kind of carefully growing that environment. But it is, I saw the other question from Adam. It is similar to, there is potential there for it to become similar to the kind of Megaport marketplace or Equinix Fabric marketplace, indeed. And that would be the next challenge on Anthony's map, to be able to deliver the kind of provisioning piece in our portal to allow customers to actually add private connections, because we don't just do it with the exchange. As I said, we can enable private connectivity from a customer to a cloud provider or to themselves via MPLS, and that's one of the benefits of growing in that kind of more MPLS mesh network way.
Sure. Well, there you go, Anthony. You've been given a public commitment on what your roadmap is and these products you're going to develop. So, got your work cut out now.
Deal.
Yeah.
Up for the challenge.
Good. Glad to hear it. And one thing people are always interested in, not just the sort of tech people, but probably more importantly the finance people and the budget holders, is cost. Now, I'm aware that you're not going to sit here and say this is how much it costs, because clearly it's going to depend on usage and exactly what people want. But are there some, in very general terms, are there cost benefits of coming onto this kind of private exchange?
Sure, potentially. It's if you kind of forget the loss of business downtime side of things we already mentioned in terms of risk, then actual business benefits would potentially be the amount of DDoS mitigation. So a lot of DDoS mitigation providers will provide a service based upon the amount of bandwidth they're protecting. If you minimize that amount of bandwidth they have to protect, you're potentially reducing your bill. So you're dropping that bill. And obviously, we're not talking about creating extra traffic here. One of the things we're saying is you can actually migrate that traffic. So it's almost cost neutral to some degree, that whatever you were pushing out onto the internet via IP transit, you now push across the private gaming exchange, and you only ever push traffic one point at a time. It just chooses the best route to go. So if you had problems on the internet and it moved over to the gaming exchange, that's one in, one out, so to speak. So at the moment, certainly not. There's several business benefits, but as you kind of mentioned, there might be even further business benefits further down the line with marketplace or extending to other providers and partners. Sure.
And I guess some of it is just one of those business benefits is just how you work with your partners who are already on the exchange.
We're hoping to foster a little bit more of a kind of community, because we do kind of service customers of customers and suppliers of suppliers, if that makes sense. So it can help just smooth those relationships for all of us, really, and make sure that we're all kind of benefiting from the maximum technological advantage we can make.
Sure. Okay. Well, I think that is it from the questions from the audience. So perhaps just to conclude things, if people are interested in finding out a little bit more, and perhaps having a chat with you or one of your colleagues about how they might benefit from using the exchange, how do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, sure. So as with anyone, there's contact details on the website, but we do have quite a high touch kind of customer relationship. So it would really be with the existing customers, and it would be with your existing account manager or CSM, and then one of the guys in my team and girls in my team and the solution architects could actually run through Anthony's demo, but potentially with customer data to show them, not just benefits, but guys, did you know how much of your data is going to X, Y, and Z, and what you can move across? So any of those formats, you can even knock me or Anthony up on LinkedIn, obviously.
That's great. Well, Justin, Anthony, thank you very much for joining us this afternoon, and I'm sure that some members of the audience will be in touch in the coming days. Thank you very much.
Cheers, Martin.
Thanks, Paul.
Bye-bye.
Bye.